Hello everyone. I don't know if anybody's actually going to watch this because I royally screwed the pooch on this one. And it is now 2 days late. And I probably won't get a grade for it at all because I know the policy, but I want to at least be able to say that I did it. It's been a very tough semester. I did not plan on moving this semester and having to renovate a house from the ground up. If I had known that this was coming, I would have picked much simpler classes. But enough with excuses. We are talking about heroes and their accompanying villains. I absolutely love superheroes, and I have been a huge superhero fan since as long as I can remember. I remember watching the original Wonder Woman and Batman TV shows as a kid, and I was just enchanted by them. And one of the things that I've noticed in all of the comics and all of the TV shows and movies and cartoons is there's one thing that creates the superheroes, or just heroes in general. It's the villains. You can't have a hero without a villain. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the villain is a person. The villain could be nature itself. It could be a lot of things. But we need the tragedy that a villain creates in order for a hero to have to overcome and pull themselves up and face the tragedy and the villain head on in order to become and do the great things that they do. And I don't think any film has encapsulated that as much as Unbroken. The whole movie's premise is a little strange, because usually a hero movie is all about the hero, and we see the hero's backstory and we learn all about what that hero's life was through his journey to becoming a hero. But in this movie, we don't see that. We see the villain's backstory, and we see what the beginning of the villain and what is created, what his life created of him. It isn't until the very end that we even discover the villain as a villain. Now, there's a little nod here and there, but and I believe that it just brings the whole idea and the together that this villain's whole goal was to create his opposite, the yin to his yang, to create his hero, because he had no life's purpose until he had that hero to counter him, till he had someone who was worthy of an adversary. And it's such a strange concept that the villain would go to such lengths to create the one person to take him down. But if you notice at the very end, when Mr. Glass says, "I now know what my purpose is," he wasn't necessarily looking to create a villain. He was looking to create his opposite. Someone that he can stand up next to and say, he is worthy of me, my time, my energy. Because that's what anybody is looking for in life. Someone who is worthy enough to face a challenge big enough to triumph. And for Mr. Glass, he didn't see anyone else that was normal that could fulfill that for him. So he had to go out and and push and find that in a true hero. One of my other entries was actually a poem that I wrote that was inspired by my ideas. And it's called "What Good is a Hero Without His Villain." I'd like to read a few excerpts with you, and please excuse the big hole in my wall. We're still under renovations. So, it's called "What Good is a Hero Without His Villain?" Flashes of light illuminate the unknown, casting shadows, creating shapes, the feeling of dread fragrant in the air. Lightning cracks the earth, dancing on the surface. From the depths of the night I'll crawl something cryptic. Tales are told, warnings cried, painting a villainous figure. A savior is stirred from their slumber. The journey of a hero, a test they must endure. Sealing the fate of both good and evil amongst flesh and bone, we find our duo clashing. Bloody battles, a kaleidoscope of wills. One must triumph, one must perish. The yin to their yang, forever moving in sync. And this part of the poem, we're talking about how to have one, you have to have the other. And it's always the villain or the tragedy that comes first. And the villains awaken something in a person that pushes them to become a hero. And they don't know exactly who is going to be their nemesis, their hero. But as soon as they take that first step that creates that tragedy in people's lives, a hero's born. A hero is called. Okay, let's look at the rest of it. Make sure we can see it. Crafted to be foes, birthed to this world for one another. Because what good is our hero without his villain? What will we do with a savior if no one is in need of saving? Locked together, their souls stitched as one for all time. And like I said, this poem was inspired by our heroes. It was inspired by the Unborn movie and just all of the superheroes out there and the regular heroes that has stood up in the face of tragedy. And if it weren't for the tragedy or the villain, we would have no heroes, because no one would have to strive to that level of greatness to save anyone. Heroes aren't born heroes. They're born regular people. It isn't until a villain comes along that they discover that they are heroes. That you have a hero inside of you. And they step up to the plate and accept the challenge. That is when heroes are created. I've gone over my limit a little bit here. I just enjoy talking, and this is a subject I like a lot. So, I hope somebody at least enjoyed listening to my poem and listening to me ramble on. I enjoyed this class. I really enjoyed the topic. And I look forward to another class on literature in the future. Thanks. Bye.